text messages, the defense attorneys, because they are fighting to prove that Cassie was a willing participant in the freak-offs, that there was no force, there was no coercion. So they going through these text messages. Basically, it was a ton of them. And she's in the text messages saying she's down for the freak-off.
Ooh, she's in the text message saying she's down for the freak-off. Welcome back, YouTube. It's your boy Hard Knock on I'm Universe. Universe is me, Universe is we, because we are one. And we have another reaction video. And today's reaction video is going to be the Diddy trial. They got Cassie on the stand. She's been testifying. And this video is about the defense digging in on them text messages. So we get to see what Puffy said. Not Puffy, but Diddy. Whatever you want to call me. He had 1,000 names. And we get to see what Cassie said. Without further ado. Oh, and I want to mention, I thank you for likes, shares, and the subscribes I've been getting lately, and also the comments. Your feedback is necessary, and we're going to keep this thing moving. All right, let's continue.
Also, she's in these text messages planning, like, you know how she said Puff was the ultimate choreographer of these things? She's giving very much Lorianne Gibson. She was choreographing her dang self in these text messages. So
Lorianne Gibson, y'all know what that is. She was the boom cat girl. She was always boom, 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 cat. That was stupid.
So what they did was, which I thought was, like, again, brilliant, and it blew the prosecution's setup up. The day that Diddy and Cassie got into that fight at the Intercontinental Hotel, the video that CNN dropped, when the prosecution presented,
I just want to say they just dropped that video again recently, and it's brutal every time you see it. I hate looking at it. I watched it again, but you know, that's just, shouldn't nobody have to endure that. You know, nobody. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. Nobody should have to do that. That was wrong. I don't care what nobody say. That was wrong. You know.
The narrative around it, like, okay, let's give y'all some background info. They only used like 3 texts from the day of March 5th. The defense attorneys was like, let's go back to March 3rd. And let's lead you into where the prosecutors, y'all talked about text messages.
And that was 2017.
Hold on. Let me go back a little bit. I don't know if y'all heard that. I could have sworn she said prosecutors. I could have sworn she said prosecutors. Let's check.
Y'all talked about text messages.
And that was 2017, right?
2016.
16.
Yes. So when they took it back.
I think I missed it. Hold on.
And let's lead you into where the prosecutors, y'all talked about text messages.
And that was 2017.
Prosecutors. That's a new word. And they just go skate by there like it never even happened. All right, whatever. Let's continue.
Right?
2016.
16. Okay.
Yes. So when they took it back, it was such a different conversation. And I don't understand why the prosecution wouldn't have included this and got ahead of that. So in the text messages, Cassie and Diddy are having a conversation days leading in, and you know, they're like sexting, and a lot of the explicit text messages they wouldn't read in court, so I don't know exactly what she was saying, but they were sexting a bit. She sent, I believe it was 4 or 5 sexual text messages. Like, she's initiating that. Puff is really on some like, I'm proud of you, because she did have that big movie premiere coming up. So he's like, yo, I'm proud of you. You got this weekend coming up. They talking about like accessories for her outfit. And then she's like, so it gets to the weekend, right? It gets to the day that they did that. And she's trying to figure out what her plans are. And he's like, okay, well, I'm down to do whatever you want to do. Let me know what you got going on. So she's like, I want to see my baby. And then they start, and now they're having a conversation about the freak off. And he's telling her, since you want to do this, you plan it.
All right, let's stop it right there. Now, so it's seeming like, you know, she basically in on these freakouts. Like, it's not, a lot of coercion. It's pretty much like consensual, at this point or whatever. So, I don't know, that don't negate the fact that Puffy was beating on her like, she was a ninja, you know what I'm saying, somewhere out there. But she pretty much in on some of this stuff, seeming like come from the text message. All right, let's continue.
Call the guy from the male escort service they were using, and Cowboys or something like that, and get who you want. You set up how this one is going to go. He even said to her in text messages like, if you want, we can sit back and just watch. Like, we don't have to even participate. And they asked her, but they was like, okay, so what does that mean? Like, sit back and just watch. There were also text messages from another so that created a whole different narrative around that, right? But there were also text messages. Remember, she talked about being forced to do it on her period and stuff like that. There was text messages.
What?
Where she mentioned being on her period, and he didn't force her to.
What? She said it again? Ew. Disgusting.
Do anything on her period. He kind of like backed off of it. He was like, oh, okay, bet. Like, cool. The text messages that they showed yesterday in court, that whole force, that court.
Now, Puffy a nasty nigga, but you gotta give him some credit. He said, she said, he said, he backed off. Okay, cool. He ain't about to screw with you while you're on your period, no pun intended. But I'm proud of Puffy. He's been doing all these freak offs with baby oil and all this other stuff. But at this point, I'm proud of him because he ain't trying to do it on the period. That's fucking gross. All right, here we go.
Abortion thing, it blew that up.
No, I listen, I'm just being objective here, right? Diddy's legal team has already to some aspects of his conduct.
Yes, 100%.
So they're just trying to say in regards to Cassie, it wasn't coercion, it was consensual.
Yes.
Correct. Now, those text messages go all the way back to 2009.
Yes.
Right? And
they even before, they had like 2007, I think, in some text.
Okay, so the one.
Now, I just want to stop you real quick. He said all the way back to 2009, and then she said like 2007. This 2025, and they still got text messages way back to 2007. Like, hey, whatever y'all doing out there, like, you don't want nobody to find out, and I ain't, advocating for this, but don't be putting that shit through checks because they gonna find your shit. Like, for real. Let's continue.
Ones that are from 2017, all Cassie is going to say is that she said whatever needed to be said because if she didn't comply, he would beat her up or be violent to her. She already admitted that she loved him. Yep. She said she also was afraid of him. That's typical in an abusive relationship.
100%.
So like that, when you no, I don't believe that blows up the prosecution.
The only thing that I will say back to that, because I said the same thing too, because also that's like that text thread is from like 3 days out of a 10-year relationship, right? So there has to be way more. We know there's way more because we've seen the evidence of him being physical,
I disagree.
right?
It shows that she was involved and that she wasn't being forced. But I think they.
But what if she was afraid? When she takes this, next time she takes a stand,
when she texts him to ask about it, I think it's going to show that she wanted to do it just as much as he wanted to do it.
No, but she said she already has contextualized that.
Right.
She contextualized that her first couple of days in court by saying, "I did whatever I."
Hey, look, Charlamagne the guy. He on some. Look, I ain't trying to let Puffy off. Puffy. Well, this shit name was Puffy. P. Diddy. He ain't trying to let Diddy off the hook at all. He like, no, she was scared. What was she was afraid? This and that. And those things can very well be true. Like for real. There'd be a lot of situations like that. So I wasn't there. Nobody else was there. So you never know what's going on. The reason people are going along with this stuff or acting like they're going along with it or not really going along with it, but being forced because they're actually scared. This is a pretty jacked up situation. Let's continue.
Had to do and said what I had to say in order not to get my face beat.
But I think so. Seeing that, and that's what I'm saying, because like for instance, there was one text from 2009. That's the one where she says, "I'm to correct it." That's the one where she directly says, "I'm always down to freak off." And then later she talks about how she wants it to be like she wants it dirty, like she wants it aggressive, she wants it whatever. So that why they did that, because they're trying to show if he was aggressive at all. She asked for that, but
she was down with it.
Yeah, but I just think that like in the text messages.
Oh, what was that? YouTube, what was that? Was that Man? That was somebody's son that just popped up. They got a new member on the Breakfast Club. Shit, let me go back to that. Who the fuck was that? Who in the fuck?
Thanks for that, but
she was down with it.
Yeah, but I just think that like
that was less hilarious. That was definitely less hilarious. Hey, looking like Man.
In
or Sun.
The text messages leading up to that Intercontinental video, he was so gentle in the conversation. Like
but she also said she didn't want a woman in that position. She didn't want him with any other woman. She wanted to be the only woman.
Yeah.
But the Cassie thing, I don't think it's going to be as explosive as Dawn and James Cruz, right? And the reason I think Dawn Richard, because they.
Now, I don't know if y'all remember who Dawn is. Dawn was a member of Danny DeCane. She was actually she wrote on a lot of those records or whatever. And then when Danny DeCane split up, they had the Diddy money. I mean, Diddy money, dirty money. It was Dawn, the other little black chick, and Puffy. So that's Dawn. She obviously, I guess she's gonna be taking a stand one of these days or whatever. All right, let's continue.
They both announced yesterday they're going to be on the witness stand. There was no that we know of relationship. So this is straight off of. We
might find out why Q was crying in that Vlad TV interview.
You're right. Yeah. And James Cruz was the manager.
So the
James
fact Cruz that the prosecution
is calling James Cruz, and the fact that the prosecution is calling Dawn.
Cassie said that James Cruz and D-Rock cried one time when they saw her get beat up. But listen, can it get more explosive than nut on a nipple? Another man's nut? Getting rubbed on a nipple? You think he will get better than that?
The oil being warmed up?
Nut on the nipple, and the oil be warmed up. Like, I don't know. Like, Charlamagne the guy, like, I don't be knowing what to say about this dude, because he always got some perverted shit to say, like, when it comes to some guy shit, Let's continue. Talk about him later.
Yes, because Dawn Richards was there, and there's no love for him. She's not letting anything back. I'm sure Cassie's still being a little sensitive, but James Cruz and Dawn, those will be explosive.
And also, Lauren, you said something.
And James Cruz,
you can be gentle in a text message, but then in person.
No. The only reason I brought that up is because we saw the hotel video, but when Cassie talked about the hotel video in court, the way that she framed how the lead up to that was, like even their interaction while she was on stand, it came off as very much like
aggressive.
Oh my God, I'm just here. I don't want to be here. My body is being like used, bruised, and I almost like literally like a sex slave almost. But then you see the conversation, and he's like, "We shouldn't do the freak off because you got this big movie premiere. Let's start early so you can get some rest." You got to take it. Basically, he's trying to look out for her in that situation.
She wanted to do the freak off right before she went to work.
Yeah, but he kept.
God damn. Like every time she pop up, it's kind of scary. Like I'm getting a little frightened and shit. Like I don't know what almost just happened. Like I don't know what I was gonna do. I'm pretty try to finna run somewhere, but I didn't even know where to go. But God damn. All right, let's continue.
Seeing that, he was like, too bad you got work. Too bad you got work.
Right.
We should do it early. You should get rest. But her narrative was completely different. Even though we saw that video, it just makes you think like, I'm confused, because they also brought in basically what's your motive? Is it vengeance? Because they read another text about Kim Porter. Cassie was upset that she never got to spend holidays with Diddy, and Kim Porter did. And it was apparent that she felt the way about the woman Gina, which is what broke up.
Nah, I mean to stop it, but you gotta do this every so often for YouTube, for they flag your stuff. But I just want to give Lauren a shout out. Like she's been doing pretty good. You following this case. She's in the courtroom every day taking notes, and her basically laying it out there. Landing the plane. Bringing them points home. She's pretty good, man. I mean, she way better than less hilarious. And she don't look like a monster when she show up to shit. No, but shout out to Lauren. You know what I'm saying? She doing a thing.
Up their relationship. Michael B. Jordan got some strays in here.
Yeah,
it was revealed that
so they had a meeting with Kid Cudi before they blew up a car.
Allegedly, they went to dinner with Kid Cudi. Puff sat them both down and wanted to have a conversation about the relationship. They brought that up yesterday because she made it seem like he sat them down because he's big bag Puff trying to scare him. Defense said no, he sat y'all down because he introduced y'all. He felt the way about that. He put you in the studio with him, and then you go grab a burner phone and start dealing with him. Of course he gonna sit y'all down.
Did Kid Cudi say in that meeting, well, why you burning my car?
No, the car thing hadn't happened yet. He said, what about my car? Because I think Cassie had kind of warned him. Like he said this is gonna happen, and Puff was like, I don't know what you're talking about. What car?
I guarantee you today, all the prosecution is gonna say, they're gonna ask Cassie questions, and Cassie's gonna say she told Diddy whatever she needed to tell him because she was afraid.
100%. 100%.
I just want to.
I feel that, I think Charlamagne was kind of spot on with that. I think that's definitely going to happen too, especially consider the fact, she pretty much already sued Puffy, you know what I'm saying, for that 30 million when this junk first came up. So she can't really go back on any of her testimonies back then and stuff like that. She got to pretty much just stick to the story. So it's got to come out like, hey, I was just in this because I was afraid, and to avoid all this other stuff from happening, I just kind of went along with it. So I agree with that. All right, let's continue. Ooh, sorry.
Keep him happy.
Be the way to go anyway. That would be the most sensible thing to say.
Yeah. I just wanted to keep him happy because I was afraid. If she already said if I didn't do what he wanted me to do, he'd beat me up and all types of other stuff. So.
Do y'all feel like, in wrapping this up, question for the room, they spent a lot of time talking about withdrawals with Cassie, and even not even in relation to Puff. They were asking her, like, how is it when you withdraw from drugs? Because they were both doing that a lot. And she talked about how you get angry, you get irritated. Then they brought it to Puff and said, well, when he was withdrawing, were your days worse with him and his anger? And she was like, oh, yeah, for sure. They did that because they're trying to give reason behind a lot of what we saw in those videos. Y'all think that's going to help him?
No, it's not going to help him.
Hitting a woman and beating a woman, there's no
drug's
excuse
not an
for that.
excuse for that.
Nah.
I kind of disagree. I think it may help because if one person can react a certain way because of using drugs, that's not they normal behavior. You can't just say, Puff was doing drugs also, and he's not acting in his normal behavior. I mean, he's acting in his normal behavior. Like, he's supposed to be able to take the drugs better than her. Like, it don't work that way. If he was on drugs, it can't help him because, drugs will fuck you up. Not saying that I did them, but, you take something as simple as if you smoke weed or you drinking or something, it kind of changes your behavior a little bit. Now, if he's on some crazy drugs, you saw how he was beaten up in that hotel hallway. He could have been on drugs that day. And then you got several interviews of people, talking about how Diddy was how he used to be, and then a certain point in his life, how he started changing, and stuff like that. It could have been from the drugs. So, you can't just throw that away. So I kind of disagree with them on that. Let's continue.
A withdrawal is not. First of all, you're not even supposed to be that strong on a withdrawal. Like you.
I'm sorry, but I'm trying to figure out her voice is damn near deeper than mine. Like, she giving Dude vibes right now. Like, free on game.
Supposed to be sick, illin'. Like, nah. That's not going to happen.
I just want the record to show. I didn't know how they were going to tie Rico together. I see it now because I see Nino Brown. I see Cassie being G Money.
Bro,
I can see. I know who Dudda Man is.
Yeah.
I can see what
I be in court like, yo, she laying it out right now. But I will say, she said,
G Money. All you gotta do is tell on the organization.
But that's what it seems like.
That's right.
She's possibly doing.
G Money didn't want to be down no more. You know what I mean? And when he didn't want to be down no more and started doing his own thing,
but my thing is, will she be penalized because she was down?
She said, my thing is, would she be penalized? Like, I don't know. Maybe on the Breakfast Club, like, everything they say has got to be perverted. Like, that's like a prerequisite for getting hired up in there. Like, you gotta be able to say some perverted shit, like penalized. She said penalized. What the fuck?
At one point,
who's the light skin cute accountant though?
You. The tapes ain't come out yet. We got 8 more weeks, baby. We got 8 more weeks. Okay.
You heard me, Lauren?
He got him right there. He got him.
My thing is, will she be penalized because she was down at one point?
That's what Envy is kind of asking too.
At one point,
I asked and I was told that there's rumors that there was a conversation about immunity with her, but I'm going to try and get some more confirmed information on that because I keep saying that like she was complicit at some point.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Lauren. Have a safe day in court today.
Thank you.
And don't step over anybody else again. Yo, Lauren was.
I got sneakers on today.
Oh, you got sneakers on today? Mm-hmm. She was walking with the high heels, stepping over people.
You be bringing deodorant, right?
Dang, I didn't even play the interview. It's okay.
You be bringing deodorant?
What?
I be thinking about that. I'm like, damn, Lauren.
He said, does she be bringing deodorant? Does she be getting musty? I don't know. All right, so I guess that's pretty much it for this reaction video. Basically, we're going to try to keep up with this case and follow it. Whether it's using Breakfast Clubs as a source, because like I say, I've watched different videos, but Lauren, she seemed like she pretty much coming with the info. So we'll kind of follow this case, and see what's going on, especially when the other witnesses get ready to go up and testify. just to see what's going on. Once again, like, share, subscribe if you like the content. Leave some comments. Let me know what y'all think. And we'll still do, different reactive videos in between. But appreciate y'all. And until the next time, that old school slogan. Holla back. Peace. Yes, sir.